In the book, as you know, Joseph, I sort of riff off of the mid 1300s bubonic plague, which devastated Europe, massive loss of life, probably on a scale we have not had since, although there's some question that the death counts are accurate. At any rate, that massive loss of life in the mid 1300s from the Black Death, also called bubonic plague, led to the birth of this genre of literature on the art of dying. It was known by the Latin name ars moriendi, but it was a genre of literature that was really supposed to be for whatever religion, whatever culture, whatever non-religion. Ultimately, there were all different versions of it. A kind of handbook for lay people, for the everyday person, to think about their mortality and to think about how they wanted to live their lives in relationship to knowing that they are finite, right? So there's a way in which our finitude and acknowledgement of our finiteness brings into relief the things that should really matter to us. So that genre of literature developed during the aftermath of the bubonic plague, the earliest version in the early 1400s, and was wildly popular until just after the flu pandemic of 1918. So, and the reason why I think culturally, at least the way I'm sort of reading history, is that we have 1914 to 1918, World War I, with sustained and massive loss of life globally. And even before World War I ends, we have the onset of the influenza pandemic of 1918 to 1920. So you can even read now in the medical journals accounts of autopsies of young young combatants who were fighting in World War I and got flu. And they did autopsy and found their lungs were completely saturated with this fluid and, virus and or bacteria triggered by the flu infection. And their lungs were just like described as sponges. You could just squeeze the fluid out. So these young guys were drowning in flu on the front line. So we have 2 years of global flu pandemic, millions and millions dead. So 6 years total of death. And we go from there in the United States, at least, to this period of immense economic prosperity, which, and not to mention, medical technology just takes off, right? Antibiotics, chemotherapy, on and on and on. And we get into the rise of modern medicine. And that's exactly when that period of the 1920s is exactly when this attention to living well in order to die well, these ars moriendi handbooks fell out of favor. It was after 6 years of sustained death that they fell out of favor. People did not want to dress in mourning. People wanted to get on with life.